Tool groupies, today we got a little bit of a Lenox tool haul, so let's get to it. The very first thing we're going to talk about here is this little stubby ratcheting screwdriver. It's only cost you about $10, $12. Not too bad for what you get. Manufactured in China. I got this screwdriver like many others do because you need a screwdriver like this whenever you're working in tight confined spaces. As you can see, I've used this thing already. I pulled it out of the package, put it straight to work a few months back, so now I can kind of tell you a few things about it. Number one, you got a cap here on the top side of it. You pull it out here. Here's where your bit storage is inside the handle. Two, you got this little bit extension right here. It's magnetic on the inside, so whenever you put your bits in there, they're going to lock into place pretty good. It is a 1-inch extension, so you can pull it out. Make this an even stubbier screwdriver if you choose to. Pull your bits out to put them inside here, but the problem I've had with this particular screwdriver so far is this. It's got two little teeny tiny detent balls on the inside there, and them things make it a little bit rough to put these bits into. Line it up just right, and you got to apply some force to it to be able to insert the bit. Something that you can lube up and actually make a little bit better along the way. So now we've got a really nice compact screwdriver. Same problem can be said whenever you go to pull the bits out of the screwdriver, because it locks in so tight that you actually got to put some effort into pulling these out. They're a little teeny tiny extension that goes back in its place. You got to really line it up and push hard to get it to lock back in place. Now once you do that, everything else reassembles just fine. The fact that it's got a nice middle housing around where the gears are. Circle in the middle, two arrows. Basically the circle in the middle means you got a stationary screwdriver. Arrows are your directional indicators, so if you want to go forward or reverse, you simply switch it back and forth, and there you go. I want you to hear what the gears sound like inside this screwdriver. You can see they don't sound entirely too bad right there, but the problem that I've had is whenever you put a lot of torque and a lot of pressure on this, the gears do feel like they're binding up. As you can hear there. Very well could be because this thing's manufactured in China. They're not well known for the quality control. The problem that I've had with this is whenever you buy a stubby ratcheting screwdriver like this, you're buying it for a reason, to put it in the palm of your hand to get in tight confined spaces. Usually you'll cup the thing in the palm of your hand like so. You'll start ratcheting back and forth when you're using it. Like me, there is certain situations you want to take that cap, put it in the palm of your hand, pull your hand around it, and start ratcheting back and forth depending on the situation. The problem that I've had with using this screwdriver every single time that I've used this screwdriver is this. You can be sitting there ratcheting it back and forth, and then all of a sudden, right there you go. The damn cap gets loose and pops right out on you. Then you got to stop everything you're doing, climb down off the ladder, whatever you're working with, you got to go find the cap. Most of the time, if I'm actually going to utilize this screwdriver, I just go ahead and pull the cap out and don't even leave it on the screwdriver itself. Which is really aggravating because it's not nearly as comfortable when you got to put it in your hand, but that's what you got to do if you want to use it. There, it's really aggravating because they did not think that through. It barely locks into place. You barely stick it in there and it locks right there you are. That also means it's going to unlock with ease and be a little bit too loose for my liking. Nonetheless, that's part of the original tool haul. Now I've got another set of screwdrivers to show you. What you're looking at here today is the Lenox 2-piece slim blade insulated screwdriver set. Now you can pick this up at your local Lowe's for right at $20. These are rated up to 1,000 volts of electricity. Now I don't recommend that you stick these in anything that has live wires on them. This is one of those situations where if you absolutely have to have protection, you need protection as opposed to the alternative. I would much rather reduce my risk of having an electrifying experience by having the right tool for the job, and I decided to pick some Lenox up. When they got certain symbols on them and they say that they're rated for 1,000 volts, they actually are. Lenox has a pretty good reputation for producing some pretty decent tools, and I tell you what, their screwdrivers, they feel great in the hand, and they're made in Taiwan. A lot of screwdrivers, whenever you buy them, you might notice that. Some of the cheaper ones are going to be China, the more expensive ones will be in Taiwan, and that's because the quality metal is better. That's why the tool companies go to the different country of origin for certain tools, especially when it comes to their premium products. Now, Lenox, good name brand, love their saw blades. A variety of their other products are really good quality tools to have, and this is no exception. I like these. I like the way they feel. I know Midwest Tool Review has made comments in the past. He's got a regular screwdriver set by Lenox, and he loves the way they feel and perform, and I think they're great quality tools. And these being right at $20 is not too bad. These screwdrivers do got a Phillips number 2 by 4 inch and a slotted 1/4 inch by 4 inch tip. They work fine for a lot of different electrical repairs, especially if you're working with outlets, receptacles, stuff like that. But I can't knock the Lenox because these things are effective, they're nice, they're well made, they're not too bulky, they ain't got no cheap insulation around them. These are pretty decent quality screwdrivers. These are made in Taiwan. You can go to LenoxTools.com for further information or call 1-800-642-0010. Lenox does have a lifetime warranty, and you can go to the website and see the details on that. Here's the description for you on the back of the package. The insulated bar, 1,000 volt insulated protection, S2 steel bar for increased durability and bend resistance. Whenever you're going to apply pressure on something, and believe me, you might not think it, but whenever you get in certain situations in these breaker boxes, fuse boxes, especially if you're dealing with some old school breakers, you're going to need something that's going to be able to withstand the amount of torque that you're getting ready to apply to that screwdriver. I've actually had to drill out some old breakers, old Westinghouse breakers. I mean, them suckers are huge. Whenever they get stuck, they're a little bit of a pain to get out. You don't want to damage your old old school box, you got to make sure you have the right tool for the job, and I've broke several bits over the years. That's the difference in quality. It's easy to make something high voltage, insulated, and all that good stuff, but whenever the bits are not that great, the fitment's not that great, it's going to be more of a headache than what it's worth. Just by looking at these, having them in my hand, feeling of them, I mean, they got some demolition screwdrivers down there you can pick up for like $13. They're pretty good too. I like the grip on them. I mean, they feel great. The texture on them feels great. I like the fact that they've got a tapered, insulated design on it compared to these other ones right here. But the Lenox is definitely far superior to these designs. On top of that, I'm going to be doing some sawing because I'm taking on a lot of trades jobs on the side, and I'm not able to record those things because it's all business. I'm doing that blue collar hustle, baby. But it means I had to buy some tools, and I always go with the Lenox Power Blast technology because these things are built spectacular. The demolition kit's great, gives you a little bit of everything you need to choose from in each type of blade here. I got 2 or 3 of these kits, and like I said, Lenox, they have proven to me time and time again that they are a spectacular blade to have. Thing on their list that everybody needs is a good utility knife. This one's actually a pretty decent one from Lenox Tools. Nice ergonomic, fits in the hand real good, feels real good in the hand. The reason I bought it is because it's got this nice long blade to it. You open it up, extended, it's got this nice long blade housing. Got an auto load feature. It says right here you got 2 max. That's for the blade storage on the inside of the housing right there. You just reach back here and pull this up. Right there you go. You got your blade storage built into it. Nice and easy to lock back in place. Flip it over, you're good to go. It does have 4 different blade settings on it. Barely push it and lock it into place for blade setting number 1. That one just barely has the tip sticking out, and this is really good for any type of drywall work that you're working with. As you can see, it's nice flat here at the end of the blade. You go to make some serrations in some drywall, you just easily run it down through there nice and flat. Keeps everything nice and straight. Another thing blade setting number 1 is really good at is if you ever have to skin some wire on the spot. You don't have any wire strippers with you, anything like that, this will make a perfect wire stripper for you without cutting any other insulation around the wire you're trying to cut. And it might prevent you from nicking your hand. Blade setting number 2, number 3, number 4. You want something with a good adjustable blade setting, right there you go, and it's really easy to exchange these because all you got to do is push down on that button right there, pull it out, flip it around, stick it back in place, and then lock it. Now if you want to lock it in place, you just go ahead and retract your blade, flip it over to the bottom of the belly here, push back in on this, right there you go. Then you got you a nice solid belt clip on the back, so you can hook this thing to your belt, your go bag, your boots, whatever it is that you see fit. And I picked up this 12-inch pair of basically grip lock pliers. They're identical to what the Irwin Vise Grip brand is, but Stanley Black & Decker owns the Lenox brand along with Irwin, so I would say they're the exact same tool, just in the Lenox style, along with this nice satin chrome finish. You want some of these, this one in particular run you around $30. Been doing a ton of different trades work. I figured I might as well pick me up some brand new tubing cutters, and you know what, Lenox had some nice ones. It might cost you about $40 to $50 a piece depending on which size that you get, but I think they're well worth it. Of course, we will go into greater detail on these in a future video because I got some other content coming up related to the trade. Another Lenox tool that I picked up and put straight to work is the Lenox hacksaw. I think I paid about $18 for it. It's definitely a good durable hacksaw, basic to the point. Everybody needs one. And everybody needs one of these saws because you might be underneath a sink or in a really tight confined space, need to cut some PVC pipe. This thing will do the job every time. Plus, if you can see it right there, it says made in the USA by Lenox Tools. And it's only about $10. The Lenox folding jab and utility saw that I picked up for a low price of $12. You can catch that tool haul video. It is linked in the description box below, but this is basically a jab and utility saw. It's got this little lock right here. You pop it open, you rotate it out, right there you are. You can interchange these blades. Anything that'll fit in a recip saw will fit inside this tool. So if you want to turn it into a PVC cutter, you can. You need a drywall cutter, right there you are. Plus it locks in right here so you get this angle, and you can turn it into a straight body design. But the beautiful thing about it is you can rotate it around, fold it up, put it inside your tool bag without cutting your fingers off, cutting your bag up. Now we got one more thing on the list we will briefly check out here. That is the Lenox 18-piece precision multi-bit ratcheting screwdriver set. In this set you get 3 Phillips, 4 slotted, 6 Torx, and 4 hex. Precision ratcheting screwdriver is pretty self-explanatory. I do like the fact that everything comes in this nice compact little case right here, easy to identify. White will stand out among the rest. About the size of a drill bit case, to be quite honest with you. It does lock into place nice and tight with this plastic clip right here. You just pop it down and you can access your screwdriver set. The reason I bought this is simply because I got a ton of these different screwdrivers. I don't have a single one with ratcheting capability. Basically why I picked this one up. You can see that it gives you all the basic bits that you might come across on a day-to-day basis, regardless of whatever type of job it is that you've got. This one little screwdriver can handle all these bits. If you do got other cases like I do, I can easily interchange these and put whatever special bits in here that I want to have in it. When I pack anything extra, I can put them in the bottom of the tray right here. If I'm ever working on something, I got a bunch of tiny little screws I need to store somewhere, I can put them in the tray while I'm working on whatever it is I'm fixing. It's some of the reasons that I chose this particular ratcheting screwdriver, because I've been out here in the trades doing a variety of different remodeling jobs, and you need these things on hand for this reason right here. Remodeling, you got a ton of these little set screws right here that goes inside these things, and they're teeny tiny, so that's where these types of screwdrivers come in handy. Mount everything up where you want it at. You basically lock these things into place. Seen these in hotels, apartments nationwide. Put them in there and then run that set screw in. Once you get them run in there, you want to make sure they're nice and tight. And you could be bottomed out against the sink like this right here at an angle. You don't want the bit to keep flopping out. You want to be able to run it in. So having that ratcheting feature definitely speeds up that process. Make sure everything's nice and in line. It gets good and tight. See there, that's mounted. That's mounted. And the same thing for any type of towel rack, towel bar, anything like that you're going to hook up. Things right here come in handy for all that sort of stuff. So these are specifically awesome for this type of work. Great thing is some of these you'll come across will have Torx, hex. A lot of them have slotted, so that's a good reason to have a variety of different bits in a little case like this one. This right here helps get that job done nice, simple, to the point. And just because they're small don't mean you can't use them for traditional style repairs. Right here you go. You got something to check. You got to check your receptacles, make sure they're in the wall good and tight and everything. This should be sufficient enough for you to get the job done, make it nice, convenient, to the point. Right there you go. You got to put the plates on, the covers on them. Also great for jobs like this. If you're needing to screw in some of these plate covers, right there you go. Easy peasy. You ain't got to worry about finding the right type of screwdriver. Nice, lightweight, to the point, so you're not going to crack your plate. Got these handicap bars right here people need to grab onto. You got to take the bar and put it over top of that right there. But as you can see, these things take little set screws. Sometimes bigger screwdrivers won't reach them, but these will. Plus, it's got all the right bit accessories built into the package. Especially whenever you're going over up against the wall right here, because a normal size screwdriver will not fit. It would buck up against that wall and I won't be able to fasten that down. But with this ratchet, I can. This is the perfect type of tool for jobs like this. It's nice, compact, small. You ain't got to worry about packing big, bulky screwdrivers around. You got that little case and it can keep all your little specialty bits in place. And I tell you, anybody who does this type of remodeling work, you got a bunch of these things, whether it's soap dish trays, toothbrush holders, paper towel holders, toilet paper holders, these types of bars, towel racks. It's got all kinds of different set screws. It's got different tips on them, and you need precision screwdrivers like this to get that job done. Much more convenient than an Allen wrench and a bunch of different screwdrivers you got to pack around with you. Now, if you all want to see a more detailed review on each one of these tools individually, make sure you pop the clutch and that subscribe button, follow on all these social media platforms.